Hi explorers! Have you dreamt of going to Alaska? Or maybe you've been there before, done that big ship experience, and left feeling like you just really wanted to go back again and see more. See more of the wilderness, actually see those bears up close and personal. Maybe you saw the whale from far away and thought, if only I could see it closer. Have we got the experience for you? Today I have Captain Jeff Behrens with me from Fantasy Cruises. Hi Jeff, how are you?
I'm super, it's great to be here.
Very good, it's nice to have you. So will you tell us a little bit about Fantasy Cruises and the island spirit?
Certainly. Fantasy Cruises has been my little company that I started about 28 years ago.
Wow.
And I've had a couple of different vessels, up to the existing vessel I have now, the Island Spirit, which is about 130 feet long. It's a 3-deck vessel that sleeps 32 passengers, again, 32 passengers, with a crew of 10, because you have to have a pastry chef.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're not going to rough it too much.
No.
But it's very comfortable, it has all the conveniences you'd expect, and it has some unique features that will get us through Alaska and see the places that only small ships can actually go and travel in.
That's amazing. To me, at least having the pastry chef on board is absolutely amazing. But that you're getting to go on vacation with only 32 people. As most of you know, I love the small tour, the small ship, the river cruise experience, because there's so few people, which means you get the better experience, the more authentic experience. It sounds to me like that's what you get, a little bit more of an authentic experience with only 32 people on board compared to 3,200 or, thousands and thousands of people. So will you tell us a little bit about that experience
Sure.
that you can bring to our clients?
Well, there's two Alaskas. There's the big ship Alaska, where you see the large towns, the large communities. You wind up going into a port, you may wind up with 10 or 15,000 close friends. And then you see the other Alaska, the Alaska that only small ships, maybe local villages, small communities. For example, we go to a town of Teneke Springs. Teneke Springs, population about 95, plus a couple of brown bears that walk on the beach sometimes, and the locals have to say, where are the bears this week? What are they doing in the territory? Because they live there too. But we will truly get you off the beaten path. We'll take a walk out to a little wilderness bridge over a stream that's got salmon spawning in it and such, and it'll be just us. And of course we'll send our cruise host and naturalists and all those things. But it's that type of experience that is so different than the Alaska experience on the big ship. We'll really show you something that you're going to take home and have a hard time even explaining it to your friends.
So I've been to the other Alaska before. I'm ready to go back to your Alaska and see what it has to offer. Teneke Springs sounds fun.
Yeah, Teneke Springs is, I thought I should move to Teneke Springs years ago, but there's no Costco.
Oh.
There's no convenience stores. They have a mercantile, they have a bakery, and let's see, they have a liquor store because it is the wilderness.
All right.
But
gotta stay warm in Alaska in the winter.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be warm and comfortable because we're just going to be there in the spring and the summer and beginning of the fall. But Teneke Springs is one of those villages. We also go to a little community called Petersburg, Alaska, which is a town of about 2,800. So there's the big town, 2,800.
Okay.
And it has a post office and it has some other things. But we'll take a little tour and we'll learn about muskeg, which is that strange grassy-like bog stuff that's out there that's the real part of Alaska. But yeah, it's off the beaten track. It's small bays and places that you just can't get to on the big ships.
I love it. I love it. So, activity-wise, I know that you can go and kind of take some hikes, maybe go kayaking. What type of activity level should you have to be able to go on this?
I think right in the middle of the range, when you look at the scales, it's probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. Although we've got family reunions sometimes where the matriarch or dad stays home and relaxes, and the other group goes to town, or the other group's getting a kayak, or maybe we're doing a big campfire on the beach. And at 9 o'clock maybe somebody's tired from a full day, so we'll bring them back to the boat. The rest of the gang will be out there with a glass of wine, maybe making s'mores on the beach, watching the sunset over a mountain range, and guess what, it'll just be us.
That sounds amazing. You related it to a bed and breakfast. a bed and breakfast in Alaska that you get to wake up in a new place every day.
Yeah, it's kind of a just a favorite comfortable place for family. You know, you take 25 or 30 folks and they start off and they peer across the table at night at dinner for the first night, then they change spots and they have some new friends. And it's a group of like-minded travelers that want to be comfortable, casual, no dress-up night. They want to be spoiled with great food, but they want to really get out there and see something different because they've done it all. They've traveled the planet, they've been to the villages, they've gone to see polar bears, they've gone to the Antarctic, and now they want to see glaciers, they want to see humpbacks up close, they want to see bears walking on the beaches, but they do want to be cozy.
That's amazing. So, when I was working with one of the big ship cruise lines, everybody says to be comfortable in Alaska is the best thing to be, but matching socks is dressed up. However, that's for the land portion. When you get on their cruise ship, you still had the dress up nights. Did I just hear you say that you could just be comfortable all the time, there's no dress up nights on your cruise?
Well, the way the vessel is set up, we have interior walkways, so if you're up at 5 or 6 in the morning, you're in a different time zone, walk up to the lounge in your PJs because, you know, the coffee's on at 5 o'clock, there's fresh pastries up there, there's fruit, there's plenty of things to nosh on all morning long. And I endorse the PJ program because, you know, in the morning when I walk out for coffee, it's often in my robe and PJs. So it's going to be a different experience. You don't see many boat captains in his PJs, but, you know, they're tasteful. And I encourage people to come on up in their slippers and start the day. You know, we had a day last May, we were in this beautiful little bay. There was a waterfall behind the boat. That was the noisy thing all night long because your window's open, so you had to listen to the waterfall. All right?
Darn.
We put our kayaks out the night before, so at about 5:30 or 6, because it's light so often, or so early, a lot of the guests were kayaking because there were 2 bears playing on the beach.
Oh.
Right? But that was the problem. Because we had these 2 siblings, they were rolling around, they were playing, they were snorting, they had everybody's attention. And the boat was so quiet, because we're the only boat that runs on batteries at night, it's absolutely silent. But imagine, we're in this little bay, the bears are playing on the beach, the guests are in kayaks, and you can literally hear that there's humpbacks someplace. And there's whales snorting in the distance. And then the big problem is the whales come around the corner, and the people in kayaks like, where do we go? What do we look at? What's our choice? Didn't really matter because we saw them a few times during the trip, but we're in a little bay, bears here, humpback whales here, waterfall over there, guests in kayaks, and people sipping their coffee on the top deck.
That's
our type of day in Alaska.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a conundrum. You have to make your decisions.
That sounds like the perfect vacation.
It's a pretty special day.
That sounds like the perfect Alaska getaway.
Well,
how many days is it?
9 days.
9 days.
All inclusive.
Really?
All inclusive, whether it's a glass of wine or a kayak or off to a museum tour or whatever it is we're doing for that 9 days, it's all packaged in. And we want to make it easy for people so they could almost leave their wallet home. They'd have a hard time getting on the airplane.
Wow. Wow. He just said my glass of wine's included.
Yes, it is.
Good thing.
And your after dinner cordials and, you know, that afternoon brownie or whatever it is we're doing that day.
I love it. I love it. So you've got your tours included, your daily tours. Mm-hmm. You've got your drinks and cocktails, all of your meals included. Mm-hmm.
Airport pickups, airport drop-offs.
Wow.
Whatever it is. When you fly in, we'll be there to meet you. And everything will be seamless for 9 days. And then we'll wave goodbye and give you a hug at the gangway or drop you at the airport.
That just sounds like an amazing Alaska experience.
It's the other Alaska.
It really is. And I think it's the Alaska I have to go see. And I think that all of our explorers have to go and see it too. Is there anything else that they should know about you and your cruise line and going to see the other Alaska?
Well, you know, it's comfortable in a few ways. I mean, obviously everything's taken care of on the boat. But our crew is, you know, we've had crew from Florida. You know, they all speak English. We're all U.S. citizens because we're a U.S. flag vessel, which means we're Coast Guard licensed and certified and inspected and such. So there's never a language barrier. Everybody in our crew is a people person. So they're not down working in the engine spaces, and you're going to see them. You're going to know us. There's a night guy that's up all night. So if you need a cup of tea in the middle of the night and you just are uncomfortable sleeping or you have to get up, well, go up to the lounge and chat with one of our crew because they are overseeing everything to make us safe and comfortable.
Wow. Now, you said that a lot of your people are from Florida. You actually are from just down the road from Roseborough Travel, aren't you?
I am. I've been talking to you guys for a year or so saying, hey, here we are. So here I am.
That is so amazing. And It's just so interesting to know that you're here during the winters and then you bring your ship over there during the spring and summer. So when do you start? When does your boat go out? And when does your vessel start with their sailings?
We begin our season May 1st, where we do a 14-day slow crawl up the coastline of British Columbia up through Juneau. So we do a 14-day trip in May. We do a series of 12-day, or we do 12 9-day trips in Alaska for our season, and then we do a 14-day trip coming south. One thing that's very unique about our style of cruising is we're the only small ship, and probably the only big ship, I guess, in Alaska that takes a full 2 nights off between cruises. So it's not about all the revenue, it's about having a crew that's comfortable, ready for the next trip, get some vacation time, and they enjoy their summer season cruising with us as well. So our service is always at a very high level.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait for some of our explorers. We have very well-traveled explorers, and I can't wait for some of them to go back and see your Alaska, the other Alaska.
Yeah, if they've been there, then that's perfect. They want to come back and they want to see some of the things they wish they had had time to do.
Yeah, or maybe go see it right for the first time. Right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for coming out to talk with our explorers today. And we look forward to seeing you at our January Expo. You'll be a presenting vendor there.
Oh, the pressure's
January
on.
12th. Definitely come
And we have a
see
big
him.
prize, too. We have a
Yes.
kind of a special getaway that we're providing.
I think that you should tell them a little bit about that.
Well, yours truly has decided that we want people from this neighborhood to join us. And there'll be, at the end of the day, I think it's presented, a free trip for 2 coming to see our ship and see the Alaska that only small ships can cruise.
Free trip. Did
Free
you
trip.
just say
Free
that?
trip.
Free trip for 2.
Exactly.
Oh my. And that is amazing. I wish that I could win that, but I can't. So I hope that you will come out January 12th. It's going to be an amazing event. Come see Captain Jeff and
Meet the wife.
learn.
Meet the
yes,
wife.
definitely meet your wife. She's amazing. I've met her before.
Yeah.
And she's really amazing. And you'll get to learn all there is to know about fantasy cruises, learn about the itineraries, and then come in, talk with your agents beforehand at Roseborough Travel. That way you can be prepared with questions for them so that you can get in on all of the great booking promotions that they have going on as well. Because you will have some special booking promotions at that event, won't
for you guys. That's right.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much, explorers, for tuning in today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and have a great day. See you January 12th.
Come see us. Thanks very much.